रत्नैकल्पितमासनं हिमजलैः स्नानं च दिव्याम्बरम् नानारत्नविभूषितं मृगमदा मोदाङ्कितं चन्दनम् जाती चम्पकबिल्वपत्ररचितम् पुष्पं च धूपं तथा दीपं देवदयानिधे पशुपते हृत्कल्पितं गृह्यता सौवर्णे नवरत्नखण्डरचिते पात्रे घृतं पायसम् भक्ष्यं पञ्चविधं पयोदधियुतम् रम्भाफलं पानकम् शाखानामयुतं जलं रुचिकरम् कर्पूरखण्डोज्ज्वलम् ताम्बूलं मनसा मया विरचितम् भक्त्या प्रभो स्वीकुरु छत्रं चामरयोर्युगं व्यजनकं च आदर्शकं निर्मलम् वीणाभेरिमृदङ्गकाहलकला गीतं च नृत्यं तथा साष्टाङ्गं प्रणतिस्तुतिर्बहुविधाः ह्येतत् समस्तं मया संकल्पेन समर्पितं तव विभो पूजां गृहाण प्रभो आत्मा त्वं गिरिजामतिः सहचराः प्राणशरीरं गृहम् पूजादे विषयो बभोगरचना निद्रा समाधिस्थितिः सञ्चारपदयो प्रदक्षिणविधिः स्तोत्राणि सर्वा गिरो यद्यत् कर्म करोमि तत्तदखिलं शम्भो तवाराधनम्
सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। We are in the fourth Anuvaka. If you all could pull out the fourth Anuvaka and follow me. ऊर्च मे सूनृता च मे पयश्च मे रसश्च मे घृतं च मे मधु च मे सग्धिश्च मे सपीतिश्च मे कृषिश्च मे वृष्टिश्च मे जैत्रं च म औद्भिद्यं च मे रयिश्च मे रायश्च मे पुष्टं च मे पुष्टिश्च मे विभु च मे प्रभु च मे बहु च मे भूयश्च मे पूर्णं च मे पूर्णतरं च मे अक्षितिश्च मे कूयवाच्च मे अन्नं च मे क्षुश्च मे व्रीहयश्च मे यवाश्च मे माशाश्च मे तिलाश्च मे मुद्गाश्च मे खल्वाश्च मे गोधूमाश्च मे मसुराश्च मे प्रियंगवश्च मेण्णवश्च मे श्यामाकाश्च मे नीवाराश्च मे The earlier three Anuvakas were talking about various levels and various kinds of joys and happiness relating to the greatest good of life. That is prayed for in the earlier three Anuvakas. And the indication is the one who really cherishes that highest state is the one who is established in Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya, Atma Jnana, realization. Now, once that person, that individual has gained that knowledge, having gained that knowledge, the Agami and Sanchita Karma are burnt down to ashes. But the Prarabdha still exists. And there is no more quotient or no more bag left to fill the remains of this prarabdha into. Even that is burnt. So prarabdha is that which is unfolding right now at this moment as our life, as our experience. Based on how we act, react, respond, the set of vasanas that are generated, which get accumulated, is called sanchita. Sanchita, that which is bagged, stored. Of these sanchita, that which gets released as the probables of my prarabdha, depending on how I am doing now, that which is yet to be released. It is in the docking station, and the moment I do something here, it gets released. And once it gets released, it is prarabdha, yet to be released. That is agami, aane wala. You want the whole thing to be repeated? Sanchita is all the actions that I perform now, which is as a response to my prarabdha, all the actions that I perform. If I am not performing it as the act of highest dedication to the altar of Supreme selflessly, then it will start creating vasanas, impressions. These impressions get stored. That storage, personal storage facility, is called sanchita. Of these sanchita, depending on what I do and how I do, with what intensity and intention that I do. The moment I do something here, from my sanchita, there is on the docking station ready to be released as my prarabdha. That which is scheduled to be released. Unscheduled is sanchita. That which is scheduled, that is agami. It is not released yet though. It could have been released. So that which is stored and that which is yet to be released, the agami and sanchita, they get burnt away completely. But that which has gotten released, which is prarabdha, prarabdham pushyati vapuhu. There is no way of escaping that prarabdha. One has to go through it. Including if they are the realized masters, they would also have to go through that prarabdha, because the prarabdha is to the equipment of body, mind and intellect, and not to that Brahma Tattva within. Clear? Sanchita is that which you are accumulating with based on what you are doing now, which will go into sanchita, and then it gets into the next level of agami, and then agami becomes prarabdha. Immediate future or distant future, depending on how I act, react, respond now. Therefore, in the Jyotish Shastra, which is given by Lord Brahma himself, he says that based on the stars' alignment on the day and the latitude, right? Longitude and latitude. Based on the longitude and GPS location, we can find what are the probabilities that you would face in this existing system of body, mind and intellect. But then it is only a probability. With Purushartha, you can change, make or differ from that which has been predicted. That is why do not take the Purushartha very lightly. Now I'm going too much into the karma theory. Now let me come back here. So what happens to these Mahatmas? They have to face their prarabdha. It is like the arrow that is already shot. Lord Shiva, while he was focusing on the Tripura, the golden, the silver and the bronze, not the medal but the cities, which were circling around Skylab. They were circling around in 3 different layers. And the only way that it could be brought down, that if they are aligned together and shot with one arrow, one missile, penetrating all 3 through. And the only capacity, only one who had that capacity was Lord Shiva. And fortunately or unfortunately, there was a devotee of that Shiva who was in that Tripura, Maya Asura. Maya was a magician, but he was also a great devotee of Lord Shiva. His asuras had done a lot of harm, but he per se had not done harm. So after Lord Shiva releases that arrow, Nandi reminds him, and Bhagwan Shiva remembers, where is this Maya? So Nandi says, Upar hai. He is there in one of those cities. So he said, then I cannot withdraw this arrow. Then he blesses Nandi and he runs faster than the arrow to snatch that Maya out of that Tripura and to protect him. Once released, there is no escape from it. Prarabdha. So the Mahatmas also have to go through the physical level, at an emotional level and at an intellectual level, have to go through the Prarabdha, that which they are destined to go through. Now for facing that Prarabdha, the prayer to that Paramatma is provide for these basic needs. First aspect. Second aspect, whenever there is a discussion about the Vaidika Samskriti, which was named as Sanatana Dharma, later morphed into Hinduism and the culture that it is based off of. I often hear the statements from people that, oh, way back then, they did not have agriculture, they did not know how to tend to the animals, they did not have a civilized system, they did not, and they go on. This mantra, which is from one of the most ancient mantras, it mentions clearly all different kinds of agricultural produce and also of the animal husbandry, wherein how they have cultivated and reared the animals and how they have used that animals. So let us not belittle the culture with our so-called half-baked knowledge, saying that, oh, they were primitive, they did not know. And somebody said that, oh, the horses and the dogs and such, they were introduced into India later. Baba, Ashwamedha Yaga, which comes in the Rig Veda, which is mentioned in the Upanishad as well. Ashwa, it is mentioned in the ancient one. And Dattatreya, he had 4 dogs around him. Before that, Kala Bhairava had a dog with him. And I can go on and on and on. So having, what do you call them? Taming the animals. Domestication, thank you. Domesticated animals in the civilized society was a part of that civilization, and which is very clearly revealed in this particular Anuvaka. So if somebody says that, hey, they were primitive, and the kind of details that is given does not reflect any kind of primitivity. And the Sanskrit that it is written in is not today's Sanskrit, it is the Vedic Sanskrit, which has lot of Chandasa Prayoga. Chandasa Prayoga, that which goes into the earlier grammar system, not the Paninian grammar system. Okay, I think I have given too much of introduction to this particular one. Urcha me urka. Urka meaning food material, says Sainacharya. Vishnu Suriji says that it is not just any common food, but it is a special juice that strengthens the body, which is extracted from different herbs and other shrubs. Now, I know of one such herb which is often taken by various Mahatmas that I have met. Is once you have it for 28-30 days, there will be no hunger. And I have met Mahatmas who don't eat at all, and I've met some of them who taking this, they sit into meditation so that food and nutrition doesn't become a disturbance, and it is a juice. And one has to be introduced into that kind of diet. It is not that you can go get and grab and crush everything, mix everything, and then start consuming it. You have to be introduced in a very slow process, and the prep work for that happens about 15 days, and then you get into that diet. And once you get into that diet for 3 days, and then for about 28 days, you can sit in that samadhi without getting distracted and disturbed by any physical requirement. Such one is called Urchame. Sunrutachame. Sunrutachame. May I live by good word. Simple meaning is good word. What does good word mean? With truthfulness, integrity, and honesty in any level of transaction. Sometimes dealing with the high schoolers in different counseling sessions, I have found that they often refer to something, they've done something wrong, at least to the standards of this country. Once I hear that, then I send the kids out and tell the parents as to what I would have done or what I had done. Compared to that, this is nothing. But they are scared. So you should tell them. They are messing up with such things. Okay. And in their defense, the kids say, at least I'm being honest. Now, honesty is something that flourishes in the field of truthfulness and integrity. A posthumous honesty, it does not serve the purpose. It is just to get rid of the guilt or the remorse. So all three of them together, truthfulness, integrity, and honest at every level of interactions. And now starts the list of things that are basic requirements. Payaha. Payaha is the milk that is extracted from the cow. Dugdham, the milk extracted from the buffalo or any other milk producing mammals. Payaha, that which is produced by the cows. The milk of the cow is considered as very sreshtha, and it is not considered as, you know, an animal produce, like, you know, we say that, you know, non-vegetarian is wrong. But when they say non-vegetarian is wrong, there is prana, a possibility of life to be born in those, and that life is being killed. But here, there is no such life aspect of it throbbing. Therefore, it is considered as vegetarian. And the milk that is suggested to be consumed of the cow's milk is such that the calves have had their share, their stomach full. Whatever is left, such milk is considered as pious. So after listening to this Anuvaka, get a house with a huge backyard, start cultivating your own dhanya and vegetables, and have a couple of cows and a cow shed, and start living independently. If you ever have in excess, share it with others too. Payaha. Rasaha. Rasaha, that which has taste in it, not tasteless. Now, what is it that brings that taste in it? Is called its Prana Shakti, the pranic Shakti. Now, one way to understand this: take 3 carrots for experiment. Put one on the counter. Leave it. Let it be. Put one in the refrigerator and put one in the freezer. The one which is outside, we start seeing the roots and the shoots start growing. That which is in the refrigeration, that also has it, but in a delayed pattern, mandagati. And that which is in the freezer, what happens to it? Any scope of that prana shakti to express is killed. Try to take that out after a few days of that experiment, expose it to the weather, and see if it will grow back again. When I have done these experiments, so if you still want to continue the experiments, you are welcome to. It has lost its prana shakti. So that which has that prana shakti is what brings that rasa. And if we go through the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, what is the time period wherein we can consider that it has lost this rasa? Yatayamam gatarasam puti paryushitam chayat. Yatayamam gatarasam. If it crosses one yama, then it has lost its rasa. And anything which is recooked, reboiled, reused is, you are just eating matter without the prana shakti in it. So what is yama? Yama is 2.5 hours after it being processed, after it being cooked. So anything in the freezer, anything in the sophisticated dustbin, trash can, what is it? The refrigerator. So when all these Yuva Kendra members and people bring bhiksha, and very nicely with a lot of good heart, they say, "Oh, I'll leave this Swamiji in your refrigerator." So I had to do something dramatic. So I take water in my hand and said, "Andar lagaya to shaap de dunga." The refrigerator is used for vegetables, for milk, for yogurt, pickles. That is what I use it for. The rest of it, consume it then and there and finish it. Anything beyond that, 2.5 hours is called gata rasa. So may I be blessed with food that has rasa. Even to have that kind of food on a regular basis, every meal is considered as His grace. After coming into this country, I experimented with all kinds of foods. Pretty soon, I saw what kind of impact it has in the sadhana. Therefore, consciously avoid anything that is that heavily processed. I used to wonder, there is this brand of chips that we get. You get it even in Kailash. No, Pringles. Huh. I used to be so astonished. Every single chip in it has a uniform size and shape. I in fact weighed it. It has a uniform weight. And that is unimaginable to. And I tried experimenting with lots of aloo to get the same size, same shape, same weight. Impossible. Then researched into it to find that by the time it gets boxed, it gets processed at least in 5 different ways. That it is boiled, and then it is mashed, and then it is dried up and powdered and reintroduce the moisture, and then shape them, and then dry them, and then add flavors into it. Anything that heavily processed. So my rule of thumb is that if the ingredients list goes more than 4 lines, I don't use it. Gata rasa. I'm feeling too much inspired to go further in detail to bust a lot of food that we indulge in, but I'll refrain. Yatayamam gata rasam. Ghrutam. Ghrutam and ajyam, there is a difference. Ajya is considered more sacred than ghruta, and therefore it is used in the havan and yajna karya. That butter which is converted into ghee by using sun's light is called ajya. Therefore it is considered more shrestha. I have tried doing with lot of reflective things and focusing that sun's light, and I have failed every single time. It doesn't come out nice. They say it is possible, and that is called ajya. Ghruta, on the other hand, is the butter which is clarified, and though the doctors say whatever they say, I'm not going to get into the medical realm, but I'll tell you my belief that the Ayurveda says, Ghrutena vardhate ayuhu. Ghrutam, that which is clarified butter, which is boiled on the fire, that is the most subtlest form of food which goes into activating the brain, which converts immediately into amino acids. And brain, when we talk about brain food, ghee is brain food. So if you want to grow that portion more, again, overindulgence is wrong, but at least per meal, 1 tablespoon per meal is good enough, according to Ayurveda. घृतंच में, हाँ जी, that is for anna shuddhi, 1 drop, 1 tablespoon per meal. Okay, continuing. Ghritam, madhu chame, madhu, honey, edible honey. Because in this country, the spouses call each other honey. I thought the other day I went to the bank and the lady, elderly lady there, she said, "Yes, honey, what can I do to you?" And I said, "Little, मैं तेरा honey नहीं हूँ." That is how I was shrieking in my head. Huh? Thankfully, no. I'm glad there was a counter and she was on the other side. I'm talking about the edible honey. So honey which is gathered from the wild. So such honey, madhu chame, it has lot of medicinal properties. In fact, I have heard one of the Shankaracharya, I think it was Dwarakadish, Shankaracharya ji, saying that madhu is something that releases lot of heat. It is like a jwalamukhi in your stomach. So one has to be careful as to how much amount of madhu has to be added into the daily diet. In fact, he says that if you do your daily puja, and in that daily puja, that which you are offering as abhisheka, that little idol that you have and you offer abhisheka panchamrita, that panchamrita, when you take it out and put it in a container and take 3 spoons of it, how much ever honey comes in there, that much for a normal individual, a healthy individual, is sufficient for a day. Otherwise, he calls it as a jwalamukhi, the heat that it generates. Madhu chame, sagdhis chame, sagdhis chame, all that which I am now going to ask, it is so that I can eat and share it with, along with many people, friends, relatives and family. It is not for eating just for one's own survival, but in the ancient, when I say ancient, even about 40, 50 years ago, the tradition was that a grihastha waits for an atithi, feeds them, and then partakes with the food. If somebody was poor, somebody was going through rough patch in their life, they would make it a point to invite them, feed them, and then eat. That way there were no beggars in the ancient past. I can give you references. There was this Chinese traveler that had come down to visit India. Hyun Sang. So in his travelogue, he mentions that there are no beggars in India. And he had traveled all the way till the Vindhyachala. He had not traveled further south, all the way till the Vindhya mountains, various kingdoms. And he makes this observation. After that, there is also reference from Marco Polo. And he had also visited and said this country must be really thriving that we don't find destitutes and beggars on the streets. Now, it's a different case. See, the dharmic way of life is to make sure that there are at least few fed before I can feed myself. Sagdhis chame. Meaning, whatever bounty that I have gained, may I have the capacity to feed few more. That who are not my direct responsibility, may I have the capacity to feed them. Sagdhis chame. And when I'm feeding them, it is not that which is left over, that which is to be rotten, that which is anyway was going to go waste. आज कोई भिखारी आ जाता तो दे देते, because it was going waste. I have shared this earlier too in other talks. I used to visit this family in Bombay, a very elderly couple, even 15 years ago. And knock on wood, they're still doing fine. And he was an IIT professor, and she was like Anguta Chap, a very smart lady. She had not studied anything. And as they come from the village mindset and living in Bombay for these many years, she had not changed a bit. The same rustic innocence you could see. Not that she means harm, not that she means belittling or insulting. So I'll give you an example. One day I was there at their house, and that day was some fasting that I was doing. So I said, "Amma, aaj khana nahi khaunga." And then she said, "Chalo, acha hai." First thing, good. I don't need to cook for you. I said, if there are some fruits, I'll eat. I said, they are there on the table, go get it yourself. And as I was going there, she had already gone to the room. She comes back hurriedly to the balcony area and she leans down and shouts, "Pehle kele khatam karna. Sadne ko aa rahe." Finish the bananas first. They are getting into a bad shape. So even that statement was little amusing. And then she tops it, saying, "Kal kaam wali bai bhi nahi aa rahi hai." The working maid is also not coming, so you better finish them. So you don't give that which is to be thrown away because it has to be thrown away. So give it to someone. Sagdhi, that which is freshly cooked, that which is in the period of that yama, and feed them and then partake with one's meal. Sagdhis chame. Sapitis chame. Sapitis chame. Various other things that are to be eaten. Now, in the food category, there are 4 kinds of foods. The 4 kinds of foods are bhakshya, bhojya, choshya, and lehya. Bhakshya, bhojya, choshya, and lehya. Bhakshya, that which is chewed and eaten. That which is drinking. Then that which is sucked, like a ripe, good ripe, sweet smelling mango. It's an art. And people, and the sophistication of knife and peel it and then with a fork, maja nahi aata. The best way to eat it is to learn how to squeeze so that the outer skin doesn't rupture, and then pop the head and then squeeze and suck. Choshya. Then is called lehya. Lehya that which is chatofied, licked. Therefore, there are lots of medicines in Ayurveda which are called lehya. Lehya because they have to be, what is the other? Chavanprash. Chavanprash is actually a lehya. It comes in that category. Lehya, that which has to be licked upon. So he says, Sagdhi, let me share that food with people. Let me also share the other kinds of foods, which is Bhojya, Choshya and Lehya, also Sapitihi. There is buttermilk, there is water, there is Choshya and Lehya, like fruits, then Lehya achar. And make it a complete meal, not something which is just dry food. So sapitihi, that which includes all these four kinds of foods. Krishishcha may the agriculture flourish. See, all the basic grains. Has anybody worked in a field? Not in your backyard, it doesn't cut it. In a field, they go for morning 4 o'clock. Turn on, pull all the water and feed the different canals that they have dug open and water the plants and weed them out, plow, and day in and day out. And it takes about 4 months for that paddy or something to give a crop. And then another 10-15 days to dry and then thrash it and then extract the